Welcome everyone. Today I will be doing a story deep dive on Dragon Lore: The Legend Begins, published by Mindscape in 1994. The game was developed by Cryo Interactive, known for such games as the adventure game adaptation of Dune and the Atlantis series of games. That's a decent track record, so maybe this can be good. Let's begin. Alright, so we start with an intro cutscene, one which I can't hear the voice actor under the loud music.
14 wings for the Dragon Knights. One of them is yours.
But I'll relay as much as I can get. There's 14 Dragon Knights, one of them which is for us supposedly, but we must reclaim it. We have to get the other knights to determine whether we are
Worthy to ride the dragon.
Then some guy breaks into this castle, while the owner goes to the nursery and gives away a baby to someone else. The trespasser summons some monsters and dances their way through the castle. The owner then presumably has a nice chat with the trespasser, since if he were going to kill him, he wouldn't have stopped right in an uncomfortable distance. We cut back to the man with the baby returning to his home and are greeted with a Star Wars-style text crawl. Wait a minute. The story continues in Dragon Lore Part 2? The game hasn't even started yet and it's already telling us about a sequel? They must have been pretty confident in this title. Now, we finally can begin playing. We take the role of the baby from the intro, Werner, all grown up, working on the farm. This is one of those pseudo 3D adventure games, where you move from predetermined points in the world, but here it's implemented confusingly. It works in angles where you rarely can move straight. Instead, to get where you want, you have to kinda zigzag to get there, making it pretty difficult to get where you want. Anyways, our father, or guardian rather, tells us to get a bowl to milk old Daisy and we're off to explore our surroundings. In a cart I find a sword. It's not like any random person could come and steal it. Okay, pick it up and put it in my inventory. Oops, threw it by accident. How do I open the inventory? I kid you not, I had to look it up since I couldn't figure it out. I tried every button on the keyboard, I tried every mouse click, but I found out to open the inventory you left click in the top left of the screen. I don't know if this is bad design, or I just couldn't figure it out. I'll say it's me. There's no bowl at the house, but there is one over here. But a dog creature is blocking the path, so find a bone and give it to the dog creature. Now we can get the bowl and milk Daisy, but she's
Wandered into the vegetable patch again.
that Daisy, always getting into the wackiest situations. So we carry Daisy by hand back to where she belongs, and our father reveals to us the secret he has been hiding until our 18th birthday. He gives us a ring and a whistle, but doesn't tell us anything else. It wasn't much of a hint, but I guess that was all we needed to know for our quest. Thus we suit up and leave home. The first thing we come across is two scary skull-shaped dungeons. One nets us a key, opening the other, and here's where we are first introduced to the combat. Oh boy, the combat. All you do is equip your weapon, look in the general direction of the enemy, and right-click until one of us is dead. If you get hit once, you're dead, and shown a nice cutscene. The only way to avoid damage is to keep clicking as fast as you can and hope they don't get enough time to hit. That's really it. You get a lot of weapons throughout the game, but they all essentially function the same, just with different speeds and maybe damage output, but with how basic it is, it doesn't matter. With the skeleton dead, we can move on, but the obstacles are not finished yet without a boulder chase. Everybody loves their boulder chase. At least we survive automatically, but with how Werner lays lifeless, you wouldn't think so. After that we reach a throne room, with a cute little dragon roaming about. It tells us we need a ruby to open the coffin, but that it is in Castle von Wallenrod. Presenting it the ring nets us an open door spell, and thus we can leave for now. We must travel further, but I came across the Dragon Knights meetup spot, but we can't do anything here at the moment. Just thought it was worth mentioning. On our way forward, we come across Chenlai, Dragon Knight. He informs us that we need half of the 12 Dragon Knights to vote in our favor to become one of them. Wait, but the intro said there was 14. Inconsistencies. He also reveals there are several paths to achieve this, which is actually a gameplay feature. Supposedly some puzzles have multiple solutions that affect how each of the knights view you, adding some replay value. Next we come across a tunnel with a blocked entrance, but by finding a secret compartment we discover a spell book. This allows us to use our open door spell and introduce us to the magic system. By equipping the spellbook, we are given 4 symbols, and each time we click one, another 4 appear. Each spell requires 3 specific symbols to cast. It's easy enough if you take a picture of the spells, as you only use them a few times throughout the game. Cast the open door spell, and we enter a new area. We enter a building with a sign labeled Work, and meet Albert and George.
Hot weather for walking.
They demand a toll for us to leave, but we're broke. Instead, they ask us to kill a dragonfly for its resin. Accomplish this task, get the resin, and finally deliver it to them. Mission accomplished. To thank us, they gift us a weapon, a fireball spell, and rope. They're so nice.
They were left behind by someone else who couldn't pay. They're yours now. Good luck to you.
Now I'm not so sure. Using the fireball spell burns the web blocking the path to the docks, but we are stopped by the trespasser from the intro. Then he either summons a monster or becomes one. The animation doesn't make that clear. What is summons monster? Yes! The monster holds a paddle, allowing us to paddle our way across the lake. We meet another Dragon Knight, but he doesn't have anything interesting to say, so let's move on. We reach a carnivorous plant, so to bypass it, we use the rope and a skull we pick up to grapple over it. On the other side, we meet another Dragon Knight, and she explains who the 13th Knight is, Fujimoto, a dead Dragon Knight, whose vote goes to whoever finds his ring. We're the 14th. Further on, we reach a mushroom village with another Dragon Knight, but we need to keep going. We'll come back later. We come upon a treehouse with a fairy. She gives us a cog, and we steal her cloth. Hey, it was in the open drawer. I'm innocent. We then enter a garden with pretty flowers. Ooh, let me pick some.
I don't feel so good.
We get rescued by another Dragon Knight. He actually tells us something important. Our dad's name was Axel, the Dragon Knight Diakonov hates him, and the Pact of Peace keeps Dragon Knights from killing each other. Nah, that's probably not important, actually. At the village, smelling the flowers with the cloth shrinks us, and we face a scorpion. Defeating it gains us the respect of the village, netting us a Dispel Illusion spell, and the potion that brings us back to normal size. Using the Dispel Illusion spell, we can find a secret door in an area past the gardens to enter a maze. No, it's not too bad. There's only 2 directions. We solve some puzzles here to get to Fujimoto's grave and get his ring by returning his treasure. Now we can exit through here to find yet another Dragon Knight, but he has a request to gain his vote. He desires a Duck Dragon Diamond, and there just so happens to be one nearby. We find it behind a waterfall and receive the diamond. It doesn't look like a duck at all though. Not even a quack. Anyways, deliver the diamond to the knight and gain his vote.
I have it. The dream of a lifetime. Here in my hand.
My vote is yours.
We jump across some pebbles to cross a lake and reach a stone circle thing. Another Dragon Knight comes riding in and challenges us to a duel. A friendly one.
A friendly duel, that's all I'm suggesting.
Okay, this is gonna be tough since it's a real Dragon Knight, so... Wait,
You'll have
Huh?
my vote.
that's it? Okay. I think the game messed up there. Oh well. Next we run into the Trespasser again, revealing himself to be Hagen von Diakonov, our father's rival.
Your father was a fool, just like his father before him. A family of fools.
This guy's a jerk.
Run back to your farm. Daisy is so lonely without you.
Don't bring Daisy into this. But he gives us an axe to chop down a tree for some reason, then jumps out of existence. I don't know if giving your enemy a weapon is smart, but what do I know? Chop down the tree, or rather, knock it over. And then get ambushed by thieves. Luckily, they are easily disposed of. They drop a vase, who belongs to Dragon Knight in the next screen. But the Dragon Knight is actually 2 people in one, so who should we give it to? let's just hand it to him.
You've chosen well, Werner. My vote will be yours.
Fool! Can't you tell an honest man from a liar? I hope you don't die in your castles so I can have the pleasure of watching you lose the election.
I'm not sure if brandishing their weapons in front of me is a threat, so let's move on and reach the castle. Disc 2. In the castle, we receive a vision revealing that our father was killed by a dragon knight, none other than Hagen von Diakonov.
Werner, avenge my death!
I never saw this coming. Here's where the game gets very puzzle heavy, so I'll spare you most of the details. After many puzzles, we reach the dragon's den, where our family dragon is trapped.
Von Wallenrod, blood of my blood.
Fortunately, we have the items to free him, but he wants us to bring his child before we can go anywhere. So find the son, hatch him, and return him to the dragon.
My son.
He takes us to the upper level, where we meet Adalpaid, our father's mage, trapped. He tells us where to get the ruby to open our father's tomb, as well as a spell to fast travel there and back, so do that and come back. With some collected items, we summon and trap Diakonov, but then free him? I don't really know why. Either way, it's election time. We got enough votes, so now we become a Dragon Knight. Also, somehow the other Dragon Knights find out about Diakonov's crime, and thus banish him. Works for me. We ride off on our dragon around the land, and end the game. Wow, this might have been one of the most bland games I've ever played. It's kinda disappointing, as I think there was some potential here. The world has some interesting elements, but they're never explored. That small village, we only see 2 houses. The Skull Caves are empty except for the crypt. The castle's a lot of puzzles and not much plot development. There's so many characters, but I feel like I knew none of them outside of Diakonov, and even then he's a typical villain. I would have liked to learn more about them, but they just tell you what style of gameplay they want, or exposition. It's hints of personality, but it ultimately comes together to create a forgettable experience. There's still the sequel to take a look at, so hopefully they improve there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, perhaps you'd like to support me on Patreon or Ko-fi. Patreon is if you want to support me monthly, and Ko-fi is for one-time support. Any amount helps this channel keep going. Anyways, here's some of my other videos. If you like my story deep dives, my last one was on The Quivering, a much worse game than this one. Or if you want a review, there's my review of Sleuthhound's The Yuletide Tale, a point-and-click mystery game. Well, that's all I had to say. So see you around.